Network. The show brings the temperature of sports to a whole new level. Whether it's a local opinion or a national agenda, everything is fair game. Remember, everyone has an opinion, but only few can back it up. Now sit back, crank up the volume, and if you think you can handle it, get ready for the heat.
We're live. Look at that. Just like that. Welcome to everybody. This is the Heat Ratio live show, as always, brought to you by Steam Pub in here in beautiful Bucks County. We got the quadruple threat here. Me, Dan's back off a little quiet, little rest week for Dan. I got Nick, got Al. I got Adam in the house. Got some people in the house in the audience. So, again, broadcasting live from at Steam Pub. Make sure you're following at Steam Pub on all social formats. And make sure you're following at Heat Ratio Sports everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and you're hitting that like button. We got a lot to discuss tonight. Obviously, we're going to break down this NFL draft. It's loud in here, so forgive the sound, but that's great. A lot of people here, everybody getting the real-time draft beer list. Remember, every time they pop a new keg, you will find out live on social media, so you can get here right off of 2nd Street Pike and get your first glass. Little head, not a lot of head. I don't know. Well, that doesn't sound right, but whatever.
I was wondering where you was going there.
I know. I got to try with that, man. It's a family place tonight. I got to be careful. But listen, we got NFL draft.
Like 2 minutes,
right?
Man.
Yeah, I know already. Right? We got NFL draft. We're going to talk about the Sixers. Al's going to love that. Talk about my man James Harden. We got some Jigsaw Chronicles, the elevator awkwardness. Love that because there's a lot of interesting things that could happen. Then obviously the name new player, name that franchise, shoot the face of the franchise. We're going to talk about Boston, sponsored by Prime Roofing, www.primeroofing.com. And then we can't leave out. Al, you're going to know this, but I got to get everybody ready right here. All right, because
Jabroni, you are 3 seconds away, and the Rock means 3 seconds away.
You know what that is right there. The Rock turns 50. 50. I think that's just showing our age. We're going to talk about Rock moments. If you're into professional wrestling and you like The Rock, even if you're not into professional wrestling, you know all about The Rock. But before we get started, boys, I had a weird moment happen to me today. No. It's a Jigsaw Chronicle, okay? But you ever sit, because it's nice out right now, right? So it's getting nice out. Springtime's coming. You're sitting there, windows are down. You're rocking out. Jam comes on. Did you ever get caught rocking out to like the wrong jam you didn't realize? So I'm sitting at the light, got all the windows down, got the sunroof off, right? I got the Bose system going, and all of a sudden I'm jamming, I'm singing, and I don't even realize at the time I'm singing to Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. Okay. Now, again, I full disclosure, I'm a big teen drama guy. I love those shows, whether it be 90210, The Hills, Laguna Beach, all that stuff. It's just who I am. Right now it's Siesta Key. Watch them all. I'm crazy, but that's what I like. So all of a sudden I got these kids walking by and I got the major side eye, like, and that's when I realized, like, wait, what am I doing? Like, here's this old middle-aged crisis guy driving a white Ultimate, banging out the Natasha Bedingfield. But yeah, that definitely wasn't supposed to happen. But let's get right into it, man. I'm going to save the collapse for later because we got to go away. We started off. We left this show. We talked about who we want in the draft, what was going to happen with the Eagles, who were they going to select, who was going to be the new shiny toy for hopefully Jalen Hurts because they were going to go offense. And boys, we were in for a major treat. Obviously, now that the NFL draft is over, the segue to this question is going to be, how are you feeling about the Eagles? Did they do enough to win the NFC East? So make sure you're checking in the comments. Let us know. Right now, they're plus 275 to win the NFC East. Let us know, do you like that bet? Is that you throwing a couple shekels on that? Because, we'll go right down the line here. Dan, we ripped. I know I did.
I was about to say, don't say we.
Okay. I ripped Howie.
You defended him more than most, though.
But remember that one episode I came back and I completely defended him, right?
Yeah, so
a lot of us came back.
I'll tell you like it is.
So I had to throw it out there. But He was on 94 YSP this morning. I just said YSP. It's not YSP anymore, but Sports Radio Philadelphia for WIP. And he said, Angelo, I got you, bro. I got you. Like, he was confident.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. So, Dan, what, like, I don't even know like what surprised you were. Like, obviously, I know you're happy.
Yeah.
But what are you happy most about for this draft to Howie Roseman?
I'll tell you the two things that I'm happy most about. I absolutely love the A.J. Brown trade at 18. I don't mind giving up the 18th and the 3rd for A.J. Brown because we know he's a stud and he's only 25 years old. He'll be 25 season start. So I love that. And I love the fact that sometimes, and we've said this in other drafts, like you wasted Dillard in the 1st, but you got Malad in the 7th. So just have the mindset they swap places when you draft somebody, right? Yep. And that's the kind of mindset I had to kind of like Howie's draft. I wasn't in love with the center 2nd round. I was hoping for Nakobe Dean at that spot.
And what happened, right?
And so if you took Nakobe Dean there in the center in the 3rd round, then I'm like stoked. Yep. So that's the way I'm going to look at it.
Right.
I think he lucked out with Nakobe Dean falling in his lap. But that being said, they got players that I wanted. I don't dislike the pick, but I really wanted Kyle Hamilton with the 1st pick. I want a guy that is on the field every single down playmaker.
I couldn't wait to get
not
here
a rotational piece. No. So that's listen. I'm not going to. To me, you get an A+ if you knock it out of the park every single pick. So Howie gets an A, but Jordan Davis's reputation is doesn't play all the downs. I mean, in fact,
stay away from the gummy bears.
Yeah, well, I heard a stat that he was actually not on the field on multiple 3rd and 1 plays. I'm not just talking about passing downs. Why is a run stuffer off the field in short yardage situations? So that concerned me. I respect Brian Baldinger. I respect Ike Reese, and they weren't 100% sold on him. I wanted a guy like Kyle Harris, who to me is
Kyle Hamilton. You said Kyle Harris.
I'm sorry, Kyle Hamilton. Yeah. We were talking about the current Eagles safeties. I'm sorry.
What was that?
Yeah, he's giving me some kind of a loser kind of.
No, I wasn't.
I could barely hear it though.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. I got.
But I wanted Kyle Hamilton.
I got them all off track here. Sorry.
To me, Kyle Hamilton's the best safety since Derwin James was taken.
You having flashbacks to Earl Thomas?
Not that bad, but because you'd have to say, I thought there was a large discrepancy in Brandon Graham and Earl Thomas back when that draft took place, and I still think we're right. I mean, Brandon Graham's an awesome dude. He made the greatest sack in our team's history.
He'll be remembered forever.
But he wasn't by any means a borderline Hall of Famer like Earl Thomas was.
That is true. Nick, how you feeling, man? I know you're feeling good, man. Well, what was the best part about this draft?
Well, the best part about this draft, Tone, is the fact that everything we've been talking for months leading up to last Thursday night, on this panel anyway, was to focus on rebuilding this defense and added the pieces that we all thought we're going to need to come together this season to make this team competitive in the NFC East and in particular against Dallas. I was ecstatic with this draft. I mean, we had the show last Tuesday, and my ideal top 4, we went through this, was that I was hoping for them to take a wide receiver, which ultimately wound up exceeding what I wanted to do because I was hoping for Jameson Williams and Jordan Davis with the first 2 picks, which what Howie did is, I'm with Dan on that completely. I mean, you take a formidable player that's already been proven to compete in this league the way he competes as a top 10 receiver, really, at the end of the day, in A.J. Brown over Jameson Williams. So that's a win. Jordan Davis is a guy I wanted to plug the middle, that he could be there. This is just a monstrosity of a man there. And then I thought they would be able to get Dean in the 2nd round, who I've been, a lot of us have been touting this guy since He played out, even through the whole season for the most part last year, but in particular the championship game against Alabama, where he just looked like he wanted to kill people in that game.
Oh, he was.
And then
monster.
I was hoping for Brisker. I thought Brisker maybe the safety from Penn State would be there, and those are the four guys I was targeting. Now, when it came time to take the pick, and Hamilton was there, I was like everybody else. We were all sitting around a table. I was sitting around a table, and my buddies were like, "It's got to be Hamilton. It's going to be Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton's going to be the guy. We're going to get Hamilton." And they took Davis, which is fine. We could look back and tit for tat, and a couple years down the road when everybody always plays armchair quarterback on really at the end of the day how well you did or how poorly you did in a draft is ultimately how the way players have developed over a couple years. But I like how he's been doing as far as the draft goes over the last couple years. He got very, very lucky. We could be having a different conversation right now. When you take Cam Jurgens second, ultimately that guy would have 100% would have been there in the third round.
Yeah.
Now you're rolling the dice on Dean being there. And he wanted Dean. He said it on the radio today. He wanted Dean. He met with all the people at Georgia. It was a guy he really, really targeted. I believe he did. Why did you not take him in this? Again, I'm playing tit for tat here, but how you got to take Dean in the second round there? You can't take the center.
Well,
there.
it's clearly that obviously we have to address the medical rumor that.
Right.
Yeah,
so
maybe people told him that they weren't going to take him, and
but it had to be also it had to be on
dice.
Howie's mind too. If he's
It's a big risk. It's a big risk to miss out because the Philadelphia fan base in this city is going to see what a player Nakobe Dean is going to be for a very long time in this city.
That would have been a classic Passover.
He's going to be a stud,
yeah.
a complete stud, man. He's going to be a stud.
So I give him an A as well.
I give him A. Al, you give him an A? Are you going A?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, we took a linebacker.
You were looking at me when I was last week. I'm like,
we took a line. We all said, what was the percentage of us taking a linebacker in the first round or any round after the fourth?
And we got two.
We got two. I could not believe when they picked them.
Great.
I was like,
kind of an edge.
They did what? And actually, that was like right after the bad part. It was right at the game 6. So I kind of didn't see the Dean pick. I seen that he was still on the board, but when we made the pick, my phone just started lighting up, and that's how I knew. I didn't know that we had got him. So that's a great thing. I'm going to make a couple points here.
Yeah, man, let's go. Let's roll.
Getting our star wide receiver and being such good friends with our quarterback tells you everything you need to know. He's not going anywhere, folks. You do not bring him in.
For now.
No.
For now.
You did not bring him in. Let him be a part of the recruiting process. And then don't back him fully and give him everything he needs backing-wise to be your quarterback. He wants him to be his quarterback.
Philly score again, by the way. Philly score again.
You know what, Al? Though,
so you can't.
If he gets 40 passes next year, I don't think so.
You can't rip them. You can't rip him out now.
No, I don't expect that to be.
You just got the person one of his best friends.
Yeah, but if his best friend gives him a 40-catch, 700-yard year,
I get it.
We'll see if he's getting Christmas cards again.
Then things change.
Right.
But right now, we're not thinking about that. One of the major things he said in that press conference is, "I want to win." So if he's got his money. So if his stats drop a little bit, and we're 11 and what is it now? 17 games. So we're 11, whatever now.
6.
Does he care? Or with 12 and whatever, does he care as much if we're winning?
Seems like
if we got a first round bye or what? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there because that's an added factor to this. Because nobody's thinking about that now, but everybody like, well, he's got this year, and if he doesn't do it this year, he's out of here. No, that's not the case anymore.
He seems like he cares more, in my opinion, about being boys with Jalen.
We'll see.
Right? So that's going to be interesting going forward,
we'll
right?
See.
To see what happens with that.
Now, as far as the pick, it's how we pick.
Yes.
He has been taught from day one both lines are priority.
Yep.
So for him to make that pick over Hamilton is not surprising, but I couldn't wait to get here tonight and say, boys, Baltimore is a little smarter than we are. And they have always picked a better player because they always don't it always seem that they're around us around picks
all the time.
All
the time.
So when they pick somebody, doesn't it seem like they know what they're doing a little bit more than we do?
But
That
I will
organization
say
loves that nasty safety.
They
just
were.
love to take that pick.
they were taking Jordan Davis.
Yeah,
I'm telling you that right now.
I do get it that because they needed him because
Well,
they're getting rid of because what's the
yes.
name is getting old.
Well,
I get that.
That was their Haloti Nada.
But
I
they
get-
also
yes,
they also
it
got
does.
their Ed Reed.
I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You could look
So they were
And they got the dude from that left the Saints.
Who?
I'm missing his name right now, but they got the young safety from the Saints, and they got Hamilton now.
Well, the funny thing is, they did exactly what we should have done. In
Right.
essence, right? Is saying, you know what? I'm happy with either one of these guys.
Right.
Right. And then
So,
you don't,
right?
Then you don't lose
It-
3.
But quick question
round
before I
pick or something.
finish:
True.
If it was
True.
forget Howie,
Forget Howie. How can we forget Howie?
forget
Yo, bro.
Howie. If it was you,
Yo, bro, I
would
got
you
you,
go
bro.
Hamilton or David? Hamilton or who did,
Jordan Davis.
yes.
I if you give me the choice right now to have one of those two players, given the way this defense is already set up in its current state, I would have taken Kyle Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you
Yes.
do? What you do, Dan?
Well, I would have liked for them to have stayed pat because I had
Don't trade at all.
I had 3 guys that I wanted,
Okay.
and I think all of them would have been available.
Uh-huh.
Either Jordan Davis,
Right.
Kyle Hamilton,
Who's the third guy?
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine. Well, why did he drop so much?
So
Yeah,
I'm
that
thinking
was
if they
odd,
stay
too.
if they stay put, they're going to get one of those 3 guys, and I'd be okay with all of them
Okay.
if the other 2 got picked in front. My order was Hamilton, Davis, Johnson,
Right.
but
And that was one of our more
but that's where you
needs. Corner safety.
and I
Corner
believe
safety.
Al,
Corner safety.
didn't they give up 2 fourths and a fifth?
Right, right.
So
that's
if you
junk.
sit-
I don't care
I
about
know,
that.
but
though.
if
That's
it-
junk.
It's
But-
nothing.
but if
They
it-
gave up me, you, and Nick. That's
Yeah.
they gave up. I mean, come on. Let's
but,
face
but
it.
I'm saying one of the 3 guys I were on my wish list would have been available,
No, you're right. Listen,
and I
I
get those 3 picks.
I think the best part was AJ Brown.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
But for 2 reasons. Number one, you took the guess element out of it, and you guys have been doing shows with me for the longest time. I am the one. I'll trade my first pick any day of the week for an
established
established
star.
player,
Right.
especially if he's under 25.
100%.
Right. So here's the best part, fellas. So I had to tell us it was a phenomenal story. So we were doing a 3-hour live draft show for Sirius, and we're on the air, and at the pick, and this is what I hear. Right. And I'm going, okay, what just happened? Right. So we're live on the air with David Bierman from ESPN. He's taking us through the war room at Connecticut, ESPN. We're inside the ESPN draft room with all the analysts, right? And I see them all whispering in each other's mouth, like, and I'm like, yo, Dave, tell me, please, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And he's like, Tone, you're gonna be happy. I'm like, why? He's like, yo, we just got AJ Brown because he actually retired. He grew up in Philly.
Okay.
So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like nobody knew. And so like I was live.
That was the best
When it
unkept
happened, man.
secret
It was.
in the NFL. I
And-
never heard a peep.
And nope. And you know it was in the works because
Right.
they signed him
Right.
5 minutes later.
Right.
The details come out with the contract.
Right.
So
yes.
let me
Yeah,
just,
Howie said he wouldn't
Oh.
even do the deal until he made the contract.
which is smart.
Yeah, very
And,
smart.
and the one thing
So
I'll
it wouldn't
say
be
about
any
Howie
problems.
is, man, did he prey on the weak?
Yeah.
Right. He knew that there was a situation
That was a
brewing out
steal.
there in Tennessee.
That was a steal.
And did you see Vrabel leave the draft room when that happened? He walked out of the Titans
There's a
draft room.
lot of
Oh,
unhappy
wow.
people.
Yes, it was on
in
TV,
Tyson-
man.
Tyson Lane.
Yeah, he's not. It was not. How can you be happy to just
Yeah.
trade away your 24-year-old receiver?
I
Who's
know.
Right.
what? So let me ask you guys: what
Crazy.
top 10 or
Oh,
top
yeah.
5?
Top 10.
Top 10, like maybe like 7, 8.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm around
right.
8.
Yeah, not top 5.
And
Not top
honestly,
5. But I'm good with that.
yeah, exactly.
Well, hold on. What do you think Devonta is? Devonta,
Uh,
like top 20?
Top 20.
So we legitimately have a top 10 and a top 20
And
receiver on the
developing
team.
quickly.
And
I
top
would say
5 tight end.
Yes,
bingo.
definitely
I
top
was
5.
just about to say that, and the top 5 tight end.
So, man, listen, things are looking up, man. I'm so happy. I
And
can't
Zach
believe.
Pascal. I mean, Zach Pascal as an addition. I'm not saying he's a top 20 receiver, but
Possession receiver.
Yeah, another
Yes,
guy that can
right.
pick it up. When Brown is in double coverage, or that kind of thing. I mean, you need a veteran receiver there that's proven.
And I'm hearing some
To fill
little
that spot.
rumors of somebody else from the Titans might come and
Who's
take
that?
a veteran minimum.
Who's that?
No way.
Yes.
Yo, come on, talk to me.
I'm hearing some things that he wants to come play with Brown.
Julio Jones?
Yes, sir.
Yo, can you imagine?
Yes, sir.
Can you imagine right now?
I'm hearing some rumors like he wants to come play with his boy. He didn't want to leave the Titans. They released him.
They did release him.
So
Now, is he shot?
where
or
else is he
injured
going
last
to go
year?
he doesn't have to be a star. He just has to
No.
be there.
But vet minimal.
Right. Just
Right.
pay him.
Do you
a
want him
couple
or
dollars.
Greg Ward?
And how about we just got
Pascal, no
Yeah,
offense.
exactly. Your boy.
What do we
to his
just-
boy, Zach Pascal.
what did we just get back
Well, not my boy. It was just
when
a
we let
fucking
that old tackle go the other day? How much we get back? Like
Nate Herbig,
2.5?
Wait, Nate Herbig is a major stiff. I got
No,
told he
but
was
I'm talking
good.
about the cap money. So
Yeah,
there's
well,
like
he's a stiff. That's why he got
2.5,
released.
something like that right there.
So
Yeah,
He's a stiff.
So that's extra
Nate
money.
Herbig.
Herbig's had a big contract.
And I think
He's
that
a big
was
minimum,
Nick.
yeah.
Right.
Nick was telling me he won this stiff.
He's not a stiff.
That's why he's on the unemployment line right now.
Dude, we're stacked everywhere. I was looking at the offensive line ages, except for, of course, the veteran in the middle. I was looking at the wide receiver ages. I mean,
Yo, man.
how he's stacking. He's doing a good. But he's
What?
doing a good job.
Hey, every squirrel finds a nut every now and then. What can I say, right?
Matter of fact,
He
I
did
told
get
you
lucky.
guys, he always surprises us. Did I not say he
But-
surprises us?
But he's doing exactly what I said when and
I
I'm
did
not
not-
just saying me, but listen, he makes his team competitive every single
No, but that
year.
wasn't what you were saying when we wasn't signing any free agents. You wanted to say, "Well, what are we waiting for?" And I said, "Can you relax? We got a couple of months." And you was like, "I will see."
But
And I
that
was
was
like,
on the defensive side of the
only
ball.
got
That
about
was
the
on the
6
defensive
or
side of the
7.
ball, which we still need a lot of help.
Yeah, we needed
We need
a
a corner.
corner
We
and
need
a
a
safety.
corner.
Well-
Even though they're really happy about that kid from Clemson.
Yeah,
undrafted,
I
right?
was just about to
Yeah.
bring that up. Where
Yeah.
you also have to give Howie credit, and what I always do after every draft is I barely can wait an hour, and I see if they signed undrafted free agents.
Dan not being able to wait. No way.
Yeah, I had to see it happen.
Dan probably got the shakes.
And some of
Wait
these
for
A lot of
guys, some
people
these
say that we
guys,
got
yeah.
a lot of
He
good.
can't wait.
Mario Goodrich is a Clemson cornerback, obviously a great program, and
Yup.
I've seen sites that had him as a 3rd round grade.
Did you see they guaranteed his salary, by the
Yeah.
way?
I mean, it was
that's
267,
that
yeah.
tells you something.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if hypothetically, if he was drafted by a team in the 3rd round, I don't think the Mel Kipers of the world would have gone crazy over that. So let's say we have a 3rd round type cornerback. Are we now even happier with the draft out?
Absolutely.
In the 3rd round, they drafted a cornerback. All right, so they're addressing cornerback. We also, Nick and I were talking before the show. We also like Josh Jobe a lot. He's a cornerback from Alabama
Right.
that started all 4 years, and he played pretty much his senior year with a really bad foot.
And a good program. Another kid
Right.
from a good
Great
program.
And they say
Right.
he can he's transferable to safety. So these could be steal free agents. And every once in a while, you get free agents that are terrific players. I can't believe I'm drawing the blank. The running back a few years ago that was great for the Texans, free agent running back.
Great for the Texans.
Yeah,
Texans.
I'm drawing the blank.
He hate me.
No. It was like 3-4 years ago. It'll come to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you talking about Arian Foster?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stud.
So you
Fancy football
Yeah, he's
Right,
stud.
right. So
Very
you could
good
get
in his
you
prime.
could get steal free agents, and
Right.
he's one of
I
them.
could see that. I could definitely see that.
Do you guys notice the colleges that how we are going for now? All studs.
All big
All
time
studs.
colleges, man.
All
That's
DC,
how you win.
DC.
I'm sitting here and I still can't believe we have Dean on the squad. We have Dean, a great linebacker. You know how many highlights I've seen on him on SportsCenter over the last 2 months of he's one of the top linebackers coming out in the draft, and he's an Eagle, and he has a chip on his shoulder.
He does
from
have it. That's a
them
good
not
point. Yep.
from people making him fall this far because he doesn't understand. Everybody knew what was the problem, and they had said, "I don't want you." So I love that.
Well, the two additions that are really, when we talk about the defensive line is something to get uber excited about. Having Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, and Hassan Reddick, and then Josh Sweat, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams. I mean, you're talking about like just a machine at defensive line, defensive tackle, and defensive end. It is absolutely.
You do that rotation right.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Oh my goodness!
It could max out ridiculous.
That defensive line is going to make these defensive backs look like Pro Bowlers because they're going to have
running for their lives.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're going to have to cover a guy for like 2 seconds,
right?
And that's it. Play's going to be over if everything pans out properly.
But Davis has to work out.
Right.
He has to be.
That's
he
the
doesn't
key
have
right
to
there.
be.
That's the key.
He doesn't have to be. Because everybody's comparing him to Cox, of course, but he doesn't have to be
Not
Cox,
really.
but he has to be close. He has to be close.
Yeah, no.
And if he doesn't, then we made the
You
wrong.
want him to be Fletch? Is that what you're saying?
I want him to be who?
You want him to be
Fletcher.
Fletcher Cox?
No, of course, I would love for him to be Fletcher
You guys
Cox,
think
but I don't know. I think that's a lot of pressure on the kid.
Do you think he starts this year?
No.
He's in the rotation.
Wait a minute.
You're just
wait a
being
minute.
a
Hargrave.
Hargrave's
No, we got Hargrave, and we're
Hargrave.
paying Hargrave a lot of money.
So it's
I think we're going to change defenses. I think we're going to go with 3-4.
Yeah, I think we're going to go sequences throughout the game.
You think so?
Hybrid.
Yeah, I do. I think we're going to go with 3-4.
You heard any rumors about that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's why they got that other inside
Hassan Reddick.
linebacker.
Yeah.
Too. That's why they
So,
grabbed.
so real fast before we transition, Tone.
That
we
would
have
be
to-
interesting.
We have to give props to our college football expert, Dan Ring.
Dan Ring, my man Dan.
At College Football Ring Zone, I was hosting for Dan, who was giving his great college knowledge, and I said to him on our part 2 show, which was the defense, but when we got to the final part, I said, "Give me your Eagles draft predictions."
Did he nail it?
He said Jordan Davis, and he said Treylon Burks. Where did the Eagles trade? 18 to Tennessee. Who did Tennessee draft to fill in for A.J. Brown? Treylon Burks.
Right.
So the slots the Eagles picked, Dan nailed it.
We're right
Dan
on the nose.
Ring, my
Wow.
man Dan Ring.
Dan Ring.
And here's the thing about, I'm going to go. He also talked about, and Dan helped me because I forget his name, the quarterback from Western Kentucky.
Oh, Zappy.
He said Bradley Zappi was going to be a sleeper quarterback
Yeah.
to go earlier in the draft, and he did.
The Pats, right?
Yes, he went to the Patriots. And if anybody knows, they understand who to draft late or early by value when it comes to being a quarterback. So real fast, Nicky Nuts second in says AJ is awesome. Top 10 says 6 or 7. And our man Adam checking in right from the building says best wide receiver since T.O., which I'm telling you. Guys, I've never been so excited since T.O. for OTAs. I can't wait for OTAs. I want to see this break out on the field, man. I do. And
I couldn't even max out my excitement because that was the night of the Sixers. I couldn't even be excited. Like I would have probably went on.
That's what happened, man.
But the
that's
game
what
was
killed
on,
me.
so it threw my excitement off.
And the thing is, Tone and I both love Deebo Samuel. And to me, they're very similar, and they could be utilized.
Well, Debo's going to wait a lot more money,
right? But that's who if you had to say the Eagles were going to we're definitely going to trade for a wide receiver and give up a first round pick and other capital, I would have guessed it had to be Debo.
Yes, I agree.
So
and look at the deal how we made. What did the cheat again?
So wait a minute.
Take like
Hold on for a
5,
second.
6 picks.
So somebody, and I forgive because I forgot to write it down. I forgot who tweeted it out on Twitter. It was a reporter. So he wrote essentially how he traded Carson Wentz and a first round pick and wound up turning that into A.J. Brown, 2 first round picks, one in 23, 124, and who was the other? And Jordan Davis.
Wow.
So that's not a bad play for Howie Roseman. So I got to give it to Howie. Listen, he killed it. And you know what? Here's the thing I will say too. I don't even care if it doesn't work. Like I care as a fan. I want it to work, but it's not going to make me think any differently of Howie. Howie made the best option available, come to us. So that's what I'm happy about.
No, that I agree. And everyone will look back on this draft without blame.
Yeah,
Right.
this isn't the kind of draft where you can go 3 years down the road and say, "Well, we shouldn't have took Jordan Davis."
No, it's never going to be that.
One person was
nope.
argumentative over this draft.
Nope. Listen, nationally, they were A's across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So going to be a very, very, very good season. As always, make sure you're following us at Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure you're following here at Steam Pub, the home of real-time draft beer list. It's packed in here as always. Got fantastic service in here. She's already ready to take care of everybody here and us as always. Spectacular hair, by the way, as always. Hair game on point, 100%. See, again, listen, Bucks County is where to be right here on Tuesday night. You get sports, you get draft, you get food, you get everything that you need. Guys, from a happy place to a sad place. And I'm gonna go and Al, I'm gonna go to you first, but I gotta give you my thoughts here for a minute. And again, a question I want to ask everybody, and it's not too early for this. After a major collapse in game one, because yes, it was major. Can the Sixers recover? I don't want to hear split. I don't want to hear any of that. My main question is James Harden cooked? I'm going to tell you right now, 100%. Okay, I am 100% out on James Harden. I'm done. Right? He showed me last night that he is a glimmer of the man that we eventually thought he was going to be. 12 points, Al. 12 points. And can I just say one thing?
Oh, yeah, 16.
One thing I will say is if I see James Harden run out of the way of somebody trying to dunk a shot again, please, I am going to take the first Uber to whatever stadium he's at and pull him off the court, okay? Number one, it's hideous. Number two, listen, man, it's probably because you got off your coverage late and weren't in your position. So you're already out of position. So now you run away like a scared little kid. Listen, take a charge, man. At the end of the day, take a charge. I don't care. That's the way basketball's played. He doesn't get back on defense. He's consistently arguing with the refs. And I'm telling you, in that third and fourth quarter, I think he brought the team down. I really do. I thought he brought the energy levels down. I thought he did everything against what we needed him to do. And that is my major problem right now. That's not going to be enough. And right now, I get it. Morey did what he could do. It is what it is. I'm not going to blame this on Doc. Everybody blame. I can't blame. What do you blame Doc for? They got the cupboard is bare. There's nobody there to play.
That's the favorite target right now.
Right? There's nobody. The one thing I will say, though, last thing I'll say on this, Andre Drummond can't play. We all know he can't play. Paul Reed gives you the best opportunity to win. Listen, Paul Reed is a passionate guy. He's an energy guy. He did everything he could. He made some plays. He made some mistakes. But I'd much rather make plays and mistakes and just make 100 mistakes and show that you can't even get up and down the floor. So, Al, just ask me this. You still have confidence. I know you're going to have confidence because you are, Al. You are the Sixers guy. You are half-court Heat. But what I want to say is James Harden cooked, man? Is he done?
No. I'm you know what? I don't know. I probably say July, August, maybe June. According to when we're out of the playoffs, it's finally going to come out that he never has been fully healthy. I believe that. So he's giving it all. He hasn't said one word to anybody. He's not that old. He act like he's Chris Paul. Chris Paul's 37.
Wait a minute. Please don't mention
Not
Chris Paul, who dropped 33 the other night when they needed on 14 or 14.
I get that. But you still got to be healthy. And I don't think he's totally healthy. And I think that's why he does it in spurts. Should he have shot more than 13 shots last night? Absolutely. I would rather you shoot over 20 shots in that game and we lose than you take 13. You can't without Embiid, you can't shoot 13 times. That's just period. All right. The other things that was just horrendous. We can't shoot 17% from three.
No, that was horrendous.
That was horrific.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Now,
that definitely can't happen.
That has been the worst shooting night we have had in the playoffs. On the bright side, we have had 3, 4, 6, 7 out of 7 playoff games. We have shot over 40, 6 of them. So I'm okay. We'll be fine as far as that. We had a horrific shooting night. All right, it happens. And that's why I have a glimmer of hope. I think, I'm calling it right now, I think we will win tomorrow. On my birthday, we will win tomorrow in Miami.
Is that Stone Cold Lock?
I ain't saying it's Stone Cold Lock. But on my birthday tomorrow, May 4th, we're going to beat Miami. We're going to shoot over 40%. Reed is going to shoot. Reed is going to play 20 or more minutes. We're going to stay close as far as rebounding, and we're going to have under 10 turnovers. And that's how we're going to win this game.
And I'm going to be a porn star tomorrow.
I hope you're right. But listen, you mentioned it before we say anything. Got to listen, Nick, my man Nick. He said
that was
Stone Cold Lock
of the year.
He said Stone Cold Lock when he said are they going to close out the series against Toronto? And Nick said Stone Cold Lock. And he was hitting us up on that Twitter message. Yo, he was even like, yo, get that part of the show, man. Stone Cold Lock, right? Nick, you nailed it, buddy.
I had a good feeling.
It.
I had the same feeling that I had in 6. I have tomorrow night.
Wow.
Not just because it's my birthday.
Nick, you got that same feeling?
Not just because it's my birthday. Just because.
No, I don't even have close to that same feeling.
See? You're with me, bro.
They've got to clean some things up. It felt like that game, shooting-wise, we were right there with Miami.
Yep.
And when you go back and look at the percentages, we were 43% from the field last night. You know what Miami was? Miami was 43% from the field. So how do you lose that game by the margin that you lost that game? And I'm going to tell you why, Tony.
I know why.
Because they outshot us. They out-possessioned us 22-9 in points because the offensive rebounding was absolutely
atrocious.
It was embarrassing.
15 offensive rebounds.
It was god awful.
15.
It was god awful, and that is
ridiculous.
Just lackadaisical play. You've got it. You got to clean that up. And you're right, Al. The turnovers. You know, Harden himself, I think, had six turnovers.
5.
He had 5 turnovers. Yeah. You times that by every player with that amount of turnovers,
right.
And when you clean those, if they can clean those things up, I'm with Al. They can win game 2. But man, I'll tell you right now, the not having Embiid there is, you can't change that. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. It hurts, but.
I think you're right, Tone. I think I'd rather have the energy of Paul Reed out there, even if he's running around.
But you gotta stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah,
he gets a foul. He sneezes on somebody and gets a foul.
It doesn't matter. He still had 5 fouls in the game anyway. So
but he only played like 15 minutes.
Right, so he's going to get the fouls no matter what. He's going to get the foul. So why don't you just
throw him out there, man?
Just get him out there.
Just throw him out there.
He does look a little lost. I mean, his I almost feel like when I watch Paul Reed that his mind is going faster,
right?
And he can't utilize his speed and slow everything down, right. and decompress and be knowledgeable on what's going on in the game. That's what I feel with him. Yep. But I'd rather have him with you. I'd rather have the energy. Yep. I'd rather have the energy with Maxey. Yes. I'd rather have the energy with Reed. I'd rather have Tobias is playing out his mind. Get those guys in there, create some energy, and let the chips fall where they may.
He does grade school type of fouls. I tell my kids, we went to Virginia this weekend and won the championship, and I teach my kids, just put your hands up. You don't need to try to block every shot. Right. And he just trying to block every shot and contest. Dude, just put your hands up. You're probably got a 7-something wingspan with your arms up.
He's
just
a young
put your
player,
hands
man.
Up. You don't need to contest everything.
I get it. I can't hate on Paul, man. Like, he's trying his best. He gets shoved into duty here. Listen, it is what it is. I mean, I'm with Nick. Like I said, it's all about energy. But frig of the day, I got to ask you guys something because you brought up the offensive rebounds, and I'm sitting there watching this game. Why do we always get beat by the nobodies, right? So the Phillies got beat by some stiff named Cody Ross.
Yeah.
Now we're getting beat by PJ Tucker. Oh. Are you kidding me? This guy was driving a bus a year ago, and now all of a sudden, I know he won a championship, but after that, he was unemployed.
Gabe Vincent.
Right? And now all of a sudden, he's killing us on the glass. right? I just.
But he's the kind of player every team needs to have, though.
I know, but it's just
I
it
remember
kills me, man.
Vance wanted him bad last year.
PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
Those type of players win you chips.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well,
we need.
he ain't winning it for us. We got Corkmaz out there looking like a deer with headlights.
Is Lowry
Every
playing
team
tomorrow?
needs a
No,
Morris,
he's out
a Morris
tomorrow.
brother
He's
or a
out.
Tucker.
Yeah, when we will retool next year,
Retool.
we got to retool for the championship run. This is too. It was not
We
enough
need
time
athletes, Al.
exactly. We need wings. We need people, specialists that do exactly what they do best. We need a lot of tools. So that's why I was saying this year wasn't the year. It's next year when you have time to retool.
You're the ultimate optimist,
He
Al.
is. God bless.
God bless you, man.
But Tone, I want to piggyback on what you said earlier with James Harden.
Cooked.
Remember who was the guy of the three when Nicky T wasn't around, where I kind of answered questions with questions like, you really think this guy's good enough to win us a championship? And then after I watching him play, I'm like, and then I was like, all we need is 18 and 10 from him. All we need is 18 and 10,
No.
which is fine.
I was like 18 to 24, 12 to 15 assists, and
Right.
5 to 9
Right,
rebounds.
which is fine.
I don't need him to do
Right, but
spectacular
I
stuff,
think-
but
But
that's
now we do.
with Embiid.
Right, but that's with
Right.
you knowing in your back pocket, if he wanted to, he could be James Harden again. And I don't think he can.
I don't know if he can.
And
in
that's
spurts. In spurts, I think.
Yeah,
he can.
well,
not on a day,
the
game to game.
It had happened last night, and the big question is, do you even offer him money and just use that money elsewhere?
Yes.
You want to give him $47 million?
Stop.
If
We're not having that conversation.
if it's
You
not disclosed-
absolutely are giving him the money. You cannot. You did all of this to let him walk.
Well, you did all of this to get rid of Simmons.
you get rid of Simmons,
Yeah.
and now you've got You got
So, all right,
$47
what's
million.
your options?
You
All right, give me your
47
options.
Well, that's your expertise. Obviously, you start with Bradley Beal, but I mean,
But then you got to trade for Bradley Beal.
all right. Do you give?
You can't pay Bradley Beal.
You know the up and coming mid tier guys that do you get 2 or 3 of them to get athletic for $47 million and build?
I'll have to
team?
get back to you.
See,
on exactly
here's
who's
the
a
issue.
free agent
I
or-
see.
I mean, you want Zach LaVine?
Think of this.
But you will have to trade for that. Chicago ain't going to just
Dan's right.
do it just to do it.
Dan's saying exactly what I'm thinking watching that game. Kyle Lowry isn't playing right now.
Right.
Okay.
Sort of neutralized.
So you're looking at a Jimmy Butler surrounded by a bunch of very good role players.
Yes.
Right.
Tyler Hero, drafted. Great guy, 6-man off the bench, just like Aaron McKee was for us
And
in
won
our
that today,
championship
by the
run,
way.
right? So, and then you're looking, Duncan Robinson didn't even play.
Nope.
Right.
I would have took 15 minutes from Duncan Robinson from the Sixers last night.
Yes, sir.
You know
Right.
why though?
Gabe
Because
Vincent?
they was going more defensive.
I get it, but but the point is, again, we're getting guys. Every time we get guys, they don't pan out. I feel like this is the Iverson years again, where we're trying to pair him with somebody else, and it
you
never
say that-
works.
Can you say that in 20 games though?
What's that?
Can
Yes.
you really say that in 20
Listen, man,
games?
If
I-
he's not injured, Al.
He-
If he's indeed, let's say he's
He
not
ain't injured.
What are you seeing? If he's not injured,
He's not injured,
If
man.
he's
If
not,
Lowry's not injured, it's like, oh, just get some more rest. We got
Yep.
this.
No.
We got the confidence. We
if
got
he's
this
not
right
injured,
now.
Al, he became a slow man, an old man overnight.
if he's not injured,
Right.
I would have to see next year a full 82 games next year to know exactly what he is and isn't. 20 games in the new offense.
Yeah, but then
Getting it used to the system, getting the ball to first somebody else in the post. I mean, all of those things
Wait.
are different, man. That's 20
But
games.
when is
Wait a
he
minute.
gonna want
Hold
the
on.
contract,
Hold
Al?
I know
on.
you're an
hold on.
NBA player and you're Hall of Famer.
Hold
but
on,
it's
man.
not a,
Hold on
just
for a
snap your
second.
finger
Hold
and we're
on. Hold
gonna
on.
win.
Hold
And
on.
I said
I gotta
this from
ask
the
Al.
beginning.
Al, hold on. I gotta ask something.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because listen, you're a very intelligent guy. You've been a coach. You know about basketball. So no matter what age level you're talking about, you just talked about. I want to watch someone facilitate. I want to watch doing this, and listen. When your star player goes down, okay, you look around in your team and you say, "Who do I got?" And that's James Harden. And you say, "James, you take the game over," right? He can't take the game over. And that's a problem. This is the game where I don't want him to facilitate. I need him to take over the game. We went into this saying that's the only way we were going to win. Okay? Jimmy Butler didn't even have a good game. Those guys, we could have easily beat that team. Was up. We needed James Harden to be elite level scorer in that game, to take the game over, not facilitate to Tobias, who played well, not facilitate to Maxey.
By the way, you've been picking on him all year.
Yeah, but
he has shown up every single game
since the trade he has.
Right, but that's the sad part of it all. If got the way him and Maxey have been playing, and if
Maxey didn't have a great game last night,
right? But I'm saying
he had an okay game.
But again, based on the supporting cast, he was next up.
I mean, you're right, Tony. Like I said, I'm ripping his face. I don't give a you know what if you miss the shots, but you have to take them.
Yes.
There's no way you can shoot 13 times and we don't have the MVP out there. I mean, you're 100% right.
See, the only thing
I can't dispute that. It is what it is. You're 100% right.
But out to Tony's point also, I'm sorry.
One quick thing.
Go ahead,
I don't know. See, that's my only problem. I don't know if it's because he can't or he just chose not to take over. I don't know. I don't know what it is yet.
Well, Steven checking says he's not capable.
When I find out, I'll let you know.
And that's what I was going to say. Everything that you have said about what you need from him, I 100% agree with you. You're 100% accurate. But I was always thinking, does Al have the caveat in the back of his head? And if he has to score 30 points, he's got that too. I don't think you can 100% say that in confidence like you did when we acquired him.
No.
That's my only point.
Right.
We don't need the James Harden of Houston scoring wise,
right,
but we need to know we have it in our back pocket if we need it. And I have zero faith we'll ever see that again. And that's why I'm concerned about our future. Not just because, to your point, okay, you give him X amount of games to see if he's healthy, but when is he going to start bitching about an extension? And then we're saying,
well, we have to do that. We 100% have to do that anyway, though.
We have to. We have to give him 1 year,
right?
But he'll want the max after that,
right? But I've heard rumors that maybe he'll take less to figure out something else so we can get some more tools.
Listen, the guy.
I don't know.
That's the sin of it all. And I'll ask you, Nick. Do you believe that a guy with his quote previous legendary status feels like obligated, or it's like a foregone conclusion? Oh, I have to get the $50 million max. Or can he actually take a step back and say, I'm really not the player I was. Will 25 kill me? But these guys want the max,
right?
And he's not worthy.
And the union wants you to take the max. The union
unless
doesn't want you to take less.
a semblance of a hometown discount,
right. The union would never tell you to take less. What do you think?
What do you think, Nick?
I don't see that there's any chance he doesn't want the max,
right?
And he wouldn't sacrifice that in the best interest of the team.
Will that cripple us? Will that cripple us if he appears to be who he is?
Listen, I'm not against. I think Tony brought it up, but I'm not against not bringing him back.
Yeah, we're in agreement
because for me, the biggest part of this trade was getting rid of Ben Simmons, just making him go away.
Yes, thank you.
And that's his contract.
Yeah, and if you listen, that's going to be a hell of a cap hit, man. I don't know where you go from there. How long was that? How long would that contract be for anyway? 4 years. 4 years.
Yeah. In addition,
you're gonna put up with this for another 4 years.
It'll be 5 years because he gets 1 year this year.
Daryl Morey's got a lot to think about when it comes to that.
Well, remember he can opt in.
His mind is nothing.
It's a player opt-in.
Yeah, it's a player opt-in.
He's going to opt in
because he knows what he's done. But of course he will.
Right.
That's a problem. But
let's cross that bridge when we get there.
All I can say is
this series isn't over, folks.
Not happy.
Do you see Embiid coming back?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, he's coming back, dude.
He'll be back game 3.
He'll be back.
Okay.
What condition he'll be in, how he will play, what his stamina would be. Is he going to be off when he comes back?
Maybe the downtime could be a blessing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. I can't say he's going to be that 33 and 11 or whatever he had in game 6 of that Raptors series. I can't say that's what we're going to get because there's so much that's happened since then. So I don't know what we're going to get out of him. Or are they going to, because he's back, give him the ball too much and want him to be heroed in? I mean, it's a lot of things can happen. Let's go one game at a time. We're going to win tomorrow, and then let's move forward after that.
one game at a time, and that's where we're going to be at. We're going to see what happens tomorrow night. As always, make sure you follow us at Heat Ratio Sports. We're here broadcasting live right here from Steam Pub in beautiful Bucks County at Steam Pub, the home of the real-time draft beer list. Like we say all the time, this is the place where you get multiple taps. They go live on the internet. You can run right over here and get the first glass. Now, let's have a little fun a little bit. So, and we're going to get back to football. And I don't know if you guys see this, but obviously we talked about us getting A.J. Brown. And it was funny. So on Sirius on Sunday night, we had on Jody Ayler, who covers the Arizona Cardinals for Fox Sports. And we were talking about Hollywood Brown. Obviously gets traded for the number 23 pick in the draft. And he said to me, listen, how do you think I feel as a Cardinals guy? He's like, you trade the number 18 pick at A.J. Brown. I trade 23. I got Hollywood Brown. Like I got the wrong Brown, right? So that was before the whole thing came out about DeAndre Hopkins. Now we know out 6 games for violating substance abuse policy. But here's the cool part: Dez Bryant, who whether love him or hate him, still wants to come back and play. He's already throwing it out there. I'm in shape. I can ball. I can go. Obviously. He went to the Ravens. It didn't work out towards Achilles again. He's back in shape. He wants to play. But here's what I want to ask you guys. Let's have a little fun with this. So, just for NFL purposes, if you could bring back one football player in their prime, place them on your team, who would it be? Now, this guy could be deceased, could be retired. Or listen, I mean, he could just be out of football. It doesn't have to be retired. Just maybe he's not a Hall of Famer, but just a guy that you would want to inject in their prime on your team right now.
Oh, that's easy.
Dan. All right. You know what, Al? I'm going to go with you first. Go ahead.
Dog.
Wow.
We need a
you
safety.
You,
we need a
I wasn't
safety.
expecting that.
Yes, we need a safety. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. He said, it's because we need a safety.
You can go any team.
Oh, I could go any team. I thought it had to be
No. This is any team. No.
I love B Doc, but he's not.
I love B Dog, but no, I'm saying being across the entire NFL.
Okay. All right, let me rethink now. I thought we had to stay in our team.
So if you're if you're following us on socials, checking in on socials right now, I already got Adam checking in with Randy Moss, Nikki Nuts checking in with Prime Time.
Yes.
Deion Sanders coming off the helicopter
guys
straight from a ball game from Atlanta.
You got to go quarterback, guys.
Do you go quarterback? Is it a must, old school?
Yes.
It's a must.
Every team is built with the quarterback.
So what are you going?
Well, the old school of me will go to the side because I'm going to go new school with the NFL. I mean, you got to have a passing mobile quarterback. So I might surprise you all with this one. Right off the top of my head, I would go Steve Young.
Wow, you're going Steve Young.
He's a Hall of Famer who's mobile, and once given the opportunity in NFL, took advantage of it and took over for a legend, became a legend.
That's a great one, man. That's a great one. Steve Donnelly checking in says Fran Tarkenton.
Wow.
That's another one. Bringing in Fran Tarkenton.
I'm going with the GOAT.
Who's the GOAT?
Tom Brady.
Well,
but he's still playing.
That's right. He's still. He came back. He came back. I'm thinking because he retired, but I forgot he came back. And what was that? Only a month? Yeah, I forgot he came back.
Yeah, he wanted to play with his kids. Now his son Giselle's like, get your ass out, get back onto the field, man. But
I would go Bo Jackson.
I say.
I would go Bo Jackson.
Yes.
He's got
for the Phillies or the Eagles?
Yeah, for both. Bring him into Philadelphia. He's your new center fielder, and he's your starting running back going into the year.
Love Bo.
Yeah,
everybody.
Man,
it's funny, Nick. You said Bo. Nick Crisco checks in with Bo. Doug Sharp checks in with Bo. Everybody's checking with Bo Jackson.
There we go.
That's a great pick, man. How do you not bring Bo Jackson back? Dan, I know you're going quarterback.
No, let's listen. Again, it's like when we're talking about like I'm gonna lose sleep over having Bo Jackson on my team. Or let's face it. How about Reggie White?
Yeah, there's another good one, man. The minister of defense.
You can always
Taylor.
LT.
LT. Think about that.
Drug-free LT.
What? Yeah, I mean,
or maybe not actually. Or maybe not. I was going to say, wait, coked up LT. Sure, let's take that guy.
You might want the coked up version. I'm just throwing that out there.
Wow.
You might want the coked up version. That's all I'm throwing out there.
Let's go Neon Dion. Let's go Dion.
Adam checking in. Barry Sanders.
LT was the most prolific, game-changing defender ever.
So
Yeah, he's the
I
best.
think I'm going to shock everybody here. I'm be a little different,
Ray Guy.
right? I'm going to be a little different.
Who said Ray Guy?
Ray Guy. Yeah, Phil McConkey. No, but in all seriousness, I'm going to go quarterback, and I'm going to go Michael Vick.
I was actually when
Okay.
I said
Really?
I'm gonna go Michael
That's
Vick.
not crazy.
It's
Michael Vick?
and the reason why
His hands are
is
small, Tom.
yeah, well, hey, yeah, but he's got other things going for him. But what I could say is, at the end of the day,
Wow. Michael Vick.
but no, like at the end of the day, Michael Vick changed the NFL, right? No matter what you think of him as a person, when he played I was say Michael Jordan, the Michael Vick experience was an experience. He took over games single-handedly. Again, I look at this as who would I want to watch? Who would I want to change the game? And for me, Barry Sanders is a great one. Doug, Nick Bo is a great one. Dion, primetime, absolutely. Dan, you're right on the money. But I with Steve Young, but I got to go Michael Vick. He's the one guy I bring in, and I'm instantly selling out the stadium. I'm instantly bringing in the audience, and I'm instantly thoroughly enjoyed. I'm excited about the product. I know I'm going to watch 40 points go up with ease. So if I'm going back, I'm bringing back Michael Vick. So check in. It's a fun conversation. Any other guys you may think of as we're going on, because we're having some fun here.
Another, to tie on that, Tone?
Who you got?
Like, we could do a whole concept on if it weren't for so-and-so, there wouldn't be Mike Vick.
You're right.
Randall Cunningham popped in my head.
You're right.
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham.
Right?
Absolutely.
So
The original
if there
game
wasn't Dr. J, there wouldn't be Michael Jordan.
Ultimate.
You're right about that.
Randall paved the way
So
for
you
Vick.
said there was no one ever like Michael Vick. He changed the game, but Randall was like that.
Well, Randall didn't run like Vic, though.
No, but he was.
Vic runs like
he was
a fullback.
Yeah, not a fullback. He runs like a sprinter,
like a tailback.
A sprinter.
Yeah.
My God, he was fast. No, but I'm just saying the quarterback that rushed for 1,000 yards in the season type guy, like you never saw that before. Most guys were scrambling in the pocket. Like
I'm rooting for Lamar Jackson to come back this year and be that guy again.
So am I, because he's exciting.
I mean, I hope he gets the cobwebs out of his head and puts last year behind him, because I think, Tone, when you make that Vic comparison, some of the highlights that we've seen on Lamar Jackson over the last couple of years have been very Michael Vick-esque.
the running, but
some of the
Michael Vick's arm, my God,
The flip of the wrist.
flick, 70 yards on a rope.
I still remember that first Chip Kelly game
Yep, to Deshaun Jackson.
against Washington.
Yep,
That first
Monday
quarter.
Night Football.
Woo.
I was like,
That must have been
That was
the
the highest
greatest
fantasy points by a
Eagles
quarterback in
first
the history
quarter
of fantasy football.
ever.
what is going on, man?
Ever.
What is going
the
on?
greatest first quarter ever. in
It'll
Eagles
go down
history.
forever. I could
believe
watch
that-
it over and over
I
again.
I could watch
That was the highest fantasy football point total quarterback ever had.
Unbelievable. Wow.
But we got to talk, speaking about bringing somebody back. And again, like I said, this is the fun segments of the show. We talk about that. We're going to talk about Face the Franchise in a minute, but I got to talk about Dwayne Johnson. We got to go, whether you're a wrestling fan or a Hollywood fan, right?
University of Miami fan.
Right. I mean, look, listen.
Now seeing as The Rock is the people's champion,
Yeah.
and the people consist of the millions.
Right? I mean, when was that not a great time to be a wrestling fan? He turns 50 years old, and
A fellow Taurus.
a fellow Taurus. That's right, because Al turns 40
Hey,
tomorrow.
I don't want to disclose my age tomorrow. Nobody needs to know.
It's all about how you feel, bro. It's all about
Absolutely.
how you feel, man. That's what it's all about. But now, in all seriousness, listen. We talk about Michael Vick changing the game. The Rock changed wrestling. The Rock and Stone Cold changed the wrestling game.
They're one and
And
the same.
it was. Listen, it was unmissable. You lined up, Nick. Monday Night Raw, right? The Monday Night Wars.
Tone, that was just around the time where wrestling pulled me back in then, because I go a little bit. I'm a little older.
We're
I go-
You're doing your prayers, saying your vitamins, eating your vitamins, saying your prayers.
If someone were to ask me who changed wrestling together, it was Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper. I mean, those two.
Ric Flair.
Wouldn't you say though they started wrestling though?
No.
Bruno.
Now,
Bruno?
Bruno
Sammartino,
Guy
and then
Rock.
the Bob Backlund
yeah,
years.
no.
and-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they changed it
Superstar
from
Billy Graham.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan really changed it from the dynamic from the entertainment standpoint, where it was, everything was kind of scripted and all that
He took
stuff.
that
and
to a whole nother
he
level.
just he started WrestleMania. It was
Right.
for the first ever WrestleMania was Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper, and those two were just spectacular. And back then, Tone, they had the managers too, which made it very interesting. With
Fred Blassie.
Classy Fred Blassie,
Classy Freddie Blassie.
Captain Lou Albano with his rubber band,
Mr. Fuji.
He would, Fuji and Saito. Fuji and Saito.
What's the name? Hart. What was the guy?
Yeah, Brett the Hitman.
No,
the manager.
Stu.
No,
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart. Mouth to the South. Jimmy Hart.
But what my kids were little at the time when Rock, so it was
Lou
busy,
Albano.
great.
Yeah, Captain Lou.
Yeah.
The Rock generated a whole new audience for them, and it brought in a bunch of kids. Adults were watching them. Older people,
Saying your
middle-aged
prayers,
people,
eating your
kids.
vitamins.
Oh, man. Game changer. It was a game changer.
Yeah, I remember him with it was him and Steve Austin were battling, and I used to joke around with my students that they don't knock it off, I'm going to give them the people's elbow.
I could give him the people's elbow.
Yeah, remember the people's elbow?
The rock bottom. The rock bottom. The people's elbow. The people's eyebrow.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the people's champ, man.
Yeah.
And again, I know everybody checking in. Doug, you're with Nick with the Hulk Hogan. I'm just saying, it was like, even though wrestling was still there, I think he changed it as far as not to say, but a choreography standpoint, right? It was when the mic became real popular, and his charisma was insane. He just captivated an audience like nobody I've ever seen.
You turned in just to hear what he would say tonight.
Yeah, he was so articulate.
He was brilliant.
He would just go up there and command it. Like he sucked you in. And
if something happened last week's show, you couldn't wait to the next show to hear what he would say in response.
But with that, again, kind of what I said, if there was no Randall, there would be no Michael Vick. If there was no Ric Flair, you don't have the flamboyancy of The Rock.
Right.
Flamboyancy. I like that word, man. I like that word. But now, listen, the Rock. I'll talk favorite moments, and Nick, I'll see. You might remember this like that, but it was the Rock's birthday, the birthday party on Raw that Mick Foley threw for him. And he brought out the Rock's old coach,
teachers, and
the
all
old
that.
teacher. And remember the girl? Remember his old girlfriend? He brought out his old girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he was like, and what happened when the Rock tried for second base? It was like,
They got the people's elbow.
it was hilarious, man.
That's good.
It was
They
hilarious.
should play that.
We got to get that cut, man. But that was great.
That was great.
But Adam says your boy can't forget about the game Triple H, right? We know that's
my boy.
We know that's Al's boy,
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, Nick, he was the best on the mic,
Oh, yeah.
100%. So happy birthday, Rock! I mean, he solidified himself in history, in Hollywood history,
Entertaining actor, too.
right?
Yeah.
What can't the guy do? Like what? And can't forget about him as Spencer Chasmore in Ballers. If you haven't seen Ballers and you didn't watch that, that was a tremendous show. That was like going back to the Entourage days, and we could do a whole episode on that. But speaking of episodes, and I'm gonna play a little, So we got a little Jigsaw Chronicles here that we're talking about, and Dan had mentioned this to me a couple weeks ago, and I forgot about it. We're finally going to do a Jigsaw Chronicle that doesn't have to be in a parking lot, doesn't take place at the lunch meat counter in the supermarket.
Oh, wow.
We're going to talk about somewhere it can take place anywhere, and it's called elevator awkwardness. So I've been there plenty of times. A lot of my doctors are in a hospital, so I have to take the elevator, and I hate the elevator. And I'll tell you something right now. My grandmother, God rest her soul, when I was in second grade, I'll never forget it. She was in a nursing home, and I got stuck in an elevator for 6 hours, and I literally crapped my pants over and over again, and I'll never forget. And I get very, very scared inside elevators, but it is very awkward. Like, here's the thing about it. Let me ask you guys this. Number one, where is the placement of the elevator, in the sense that when you get in there, where do you want to be? Because there's two schools of thought here. Do you want to be in the back corner where you got to bum rush your way out? Like you're thinking, yeah, I'm on floor 2, and then you got to get through the people to get out? Or do you want to be the guy in the front that every time the door stops on the floor, you got to move out of the way for the other people to get in, and then face the fact so you could get stuck as the sandwich right in the middle because you got those people that come in and do the instant turnaround and hit the button and act like nobody else is there. So Dan, you brought this up. Yeah. Awkward moments, LL awkwardness.
Dan,
where do you want to be there, man?
This is
this is Dan.
Listen,
You're rubbing off on him.
All of us, the fact that we're doing this type of thing right now shows that we're a little outgoing at times, right? I go in walks in my neighborhood with my kids, with my wife after dinner. I'm always saying hi to people, watering the grass.
Good family, man, that Dan Green is.
Right, but how many times do we know people that don't speak to you? Like,
you're right.
So, I'm that kind of guy that has to break the silence at a party and stuff like that. But why is it that people with our personalities, no matter what, when you get on an elevator and if I didn't know Nick and we got on an elevator together, I might say hello. Yeah. But do you ever break out in a conversation with someone on an elevator? It's like, why do we treat an elevator like we do a urinal?
Only if you have a conversation piece on. So if you have a Phillies hat, like I was in Virginia and I seen a couple Eagles fans, I gave them a pound and said, "Go Birds," stuff like that. Yep. But not normal.
Always contact is awkward, right?
Yeah.
You always look down. It's weird. It's like elevator awkwardness. It's like we have a different social upbringing when we get on an elevator.
Right.
Our boy Steve checks in. He says, "In and to the left."
I say into the left or into the right. Wherever the buttons are, I want to be in that corner.
See, I don't want to be there because I got people reaching over here.
I just say
I'm the doorman.
I'll volunteer.
You'll say what number?
I volunteer. I say what number are you?
I'm the same way. I'm the what number guy.
You're the what? Hey, what floor?
What floor? Wait, what floor are you going on? So it's easy to strike up the conversation when you're the doorman.
Right. It is.
I just noticed something though. You know where elevator awkwardness totally changes though? On a cruise ship.
I've never been on a cruise.
I will be.
Everybody's all lit up.
Yeah,
I will be on.
And it's wider, and it's usually all glass, and it's just a different vibe.
I will be on one in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, you'll be friendly on the elevator again.
You know what's a very awkward elevator? The freight elevator.
Oh my God.
At the Wells Fargo Center, because that's where I've been. So when you have a media pass, you have to go down the freight elevator. So.
Must be nice.
And sometimes when you're in there, somebody's popular, but you don't know who it is. So you're like sitting there staring, and they
because you're trying to figure out who they are.
Right. You're trying to figure out who they are. Like obviously, if you see the king in there with the mink coat, it's the king, right? So
well, listen, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's the elevator, and my wife will probably actually like this to hear the story. So we were invited to a fancy schmancy wedding at a downtown.
A fancy
schmancy.
Okay.
Fancy schmancy.
You never heard fancy schmancy?
What? I've heard that in a while.
Sorry, we were at a very fancy hotel, and we get on the hotel, and Kira Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon are on the elevator with us. Wow. And I'm like, I try to play it cool, and my wife like, that's Kevin Bacon. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah,
Did he smile?
Yeah,
with that gorgeous hair flowing down.
Yeah, his wife is Kira Sedgwick. She's was on the closer. If you know who she is.
Yes, I know the closer.
And their little dog. So it was neat to be on an elevator with Kevin Bacon.
Have you guys had
and not make eye contact?
The since
you
COVID,
said and not make eye contact?
Yeah, because the elevator awkwardness kicked in.
You know how COVID kind of changed things a little bit with elevators. Yeah. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was out in Florida in a condominium that's kind of transitioning from older to young, but it's still got the dynamic of both. And it was 4 of us, and the elevator's going up, and it opens up, and there's one guy in there, and he looks at us like he's in a total sweat panic. And he's like, he looks, and we're walking, and he's looking, and we're walking, and so I was in front. I was like, hey, we can wait for the next one if you need us to. And he's like, okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. The guy was like, don't get on the elevator with me. It was like a tell at a poker.
Wow.
He wasn't saying anything.
He was that incessant.
He wasn't saying anything. He was telling you everything.
He didn't have to say anything. You seen it right in his eyes that he had no interest.
That's happened a couple of times. Even not recent. Like I'm not talking about 2 years ago. I'm talking about last 4 or 5 weeks.
This long, you shouldn't still think like
that. No, man. Come on.
About a year and a half ago, absolutely. Absolutely. When everybody went, basically 4 people in the elevator, everybody had a corner, and nobody else was getting on but those 4 people.
Yeah.
COVID changed everything, man.
Yeah.
COVID changed the world. COVID changed the world. And I remember when, not to get, but I remember when it first happened, but it's like, this is going to change the world forever. And I'm like, whatever. Yeah, it has changed it forever. And good or bad, whatever. Thankfully, we're moving past it. We're all here. We're out at Steam Pub, follow at Steam Pub, all sorts of formats. We're here out. We're talking to people. We're having fun, talking sports, and we don't have to be shoved in a corner somewhere by ourselves. So thank God for that. So let's end this segment on this, guys. We always do, again, name that player segment. This is sponsored by our friendly people at Prime Roofing. If you need a roof, if you need a repair, if you just need a consultation, you're not sure, visit Prime Roofing today. You can follow them at Prime Roofing on all social formats. The home of roof rescue. They not only rescue your roof right, but they do it right the first time. You don't have to worry about the calling back, and they do it in one day. Give them a follow at www.primeroofingpa.com. And again, located in right here, Southampton, in beautiful Bucks County. Let's talk about name that player and who is the face of the franchise. And this week, we're going to talk about the infamous Boston. Okay, whether it be the Boston Bruins, the Boston Red Sox, the Boston Celtics.
I hate anything.
Right, right. We have them all. So let me ask you, Al. We'll start from the end coming up. No matter what team it is, first thing somebody says Boston, who do you immediately gravitate towards?
That punk Paul Pierce.
The Sixer guy, Paul Pierce.
That chump Paul Pierce. That come right to my mind.
Wow.
Him. Unfortunately.
The
truth.
Great player.
Yeah. He was
Great
good.
player who could have been a Sixer.
And that's a whole nother
right? I know. That's a whole nother. Could have been a Sixer.
Him and Dirk.
Yes. Hey, listen, mention that, right? Make sure you're following Dan Greaves' quick takes as well. We're going to start throwing that poll up there because Dan's going to get on me if I don't watch them. All the time. He always hit me up. He said, maybe you'll actually have to watch one. I do. Listen, Jigsaw's a busy guy.
5 minutes.
That's what she said too, but it is what it is. Right? At the end,
he always slips one in there, Dan.
Yo, be careful. Be careful, man. Be careful. So, Nick, Boston.
Hello.
Who are you thinking, man?
All right. So the first, I think about 2 people right away because I am again a little bit older, and the first 2 people come to mind right away are Bobby Orr and Larry Bird.
Yeah.
They're
absolutely.
But, Roger Clemens comes to mind right away for me too. For some reason, when I think about the Red Sox, that's what I think about. But really, honestly, at the end of the day, there's only one answer, and there is only one answer for all of us. But you don't think of it when you say Boston.
Yeah.
But he played in Boston.
Yeah, you're right.
But if I said, what was the first thing you think about when you think about New England?
Right.
What would you? Who would come to mind?
Yeah, that would be a no-brainer.
Right.
So,
That's
Tom
true.
Brady
That's true.
is
Right.
really- when you think about the Boston teams,
Right.
Yeah.
it's
The city in general.
There's only one pick.
That's
Tom Brady.
That's
for
a
me.
good one. Adam checking in with Big Poppy, David Ortiz, and KG, Kevin Garnett.
And he started the winning. Like, as soon as they started winning, the Bruins started winning, the Red Sox started winning. Everybody started winning from stinking Boston after they started winning.
It's funny because I'm going to go before Dan because Dan's going to have a litany of guys
He's right.
that I'm probably not even going to know who they are.
Yeah, he's going.
Yeah, I already know.
He'll bring in at least 160 player.
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny because I think of a couple guys and it's kind of sentimental to me. So back in the day when I was growing up and I first got into basketball, my father worked shift work, so he wasn't home a lot at night. And I was so excited to watch the NBA Finals with my mom. And it was always Boston and the Lakers. Right? So I specifically remember the Chief, Robert Parrish. I remember
he was great.
Dennis Johnson. I remember Kevin McHale.
Danny Ainge.
Right, Danny Ainge.
ML Carr.
Right? Oh, my God, ML Carr, right? The first guys that I gravitate toward when you say Boston are that. For that specific reason, right? That specific reason. I got to spend all that time with my mom, which is great because she's a huge sports fan. Love her to death, but if you ask her who she likes, she's probably going to name 100 teams because she likes everybody. But that's just because she's a sports fan. But what I will say, though, is going to the Red Sox, I always remember my man Manny Ramirez, and I understand that he didn't play his whole career there. I get it, but he was such a big part of that team. And I go back old school and Wade Boggs. I always remember Wade Boggs. First comes to mind when we talk about Boston
That
and
mustache, the hair.
if you go Bruins, I'm not a hockey guy. It's hard, but it's just I got to go Bork, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's the first guy,
answer.
right? It's the first guy that I'll remember of hockey. But Dan, I know you're going to have a litany of guys that I'm probably not going to know who the hell they are.
All right.
But go ahead, talk to
All
me.
right. So the next point I'll start Bruins. Now I'm not going to speak for Nick, but we knew of Bobby Orr, but I don't really recall watching him.
No, but you're just saying people that you
the
think
lore
about.
of Bobby Orr is But as far as me being a diehard Flyers fan and remembering Bruin players, Terry O'Reilly, Wayne Cashman come to mind, Phil Esposito, and then you go Boston, and you guys might go crazy over this, but I remember pre-Bird very well. I remember JoJo White and Dave Collins beating up on the Sixers.
Okay.
John Havlicek.
I remember Havlicek.
My Red Sox years. Fred Lynn, Jim Rice, and when you say who's your favorite non-Philly, non-Eagle, my favorite non-Philly back in the day was Dewey Evans. Loved Dwight Evans, the right fielder for the Red Sox.
I remember Dwight.
And I guess
remember
Patriots,
Dwight.
I'll go old school. John Hanna at guard was a legend, and Steve Grogan was the quarterback.
Who did you
Greatest guard ever,
He
John
plays
Hanna.
offensive guard.
Yeah, one of the greats of all time, Al.
You know, I didn't.
What
even
year
think,
was that?
I didn't even think about Boston going to England.
Mid to late
when-
70s.
Well, Steve Grogan was their first great quarterback.
I listen. I remember if you want to go, if you want to go New England and talk about, for me, it's Willie McGinnis and it's Kevin Falk. They're two guys that, not saying they were the greatest in the world, but guys that I always remember gravitating to it. I think Kevin Falk more so less because he was a sneaky fantasy play from week to week because
Troy
he
Brown,
did so much. Troy Brown, Deion Branch, those guys, right?
Super Bowl year, 04.
The best thing about Troy Brown, remember Parcells? Terry Glenn. When he was talking about that, what was she saying? He said, remember, like it was terrible, man. Bill Parcells, but that again, check in. And he got Adam says Char. Who's Char when he was on the Boston Bruins? Chara.
It's Dana Chara.
Dana Chara. I don't know who that is. Say I'm the hockey guy.
6'9" defenseman.
Yeah, just real tall.
6'9".
He's playing at the age of 45 for the Islanders right now.
Wow,
I would just.
that's impressive.
I was just brought up to just
Ooh.
hate everything Boston.
Yeah.
Just everything. I don't care what it is. I'm not even a full. Of course, I'm a 4-for-4 guy, but I just hate Boston. Anything we play against them, I just automatically hate them.
Our boy
The
Javon
Red
checking in
Sox,
says Ty
maybe
Law.
not as much. They're
Ty-
the one team you hate. I hate
You know
the
what?
Yankees.
You know what? Yeah. Because they don't really directly. We played them a couple times.
How about Ty Law? Javon
Yeah,
checking in. That's a
Ty
great
Law
name,
was
man.
Very good.
It's funny. In one of my quick
That's a
takes,
great name.
one of my quick takes, Eric Allen has better numbers than Ty Law.
That's
Ty
great.
Law's in the Hall of Fame.
I think
Ty
Eric's
Law.
going to get in there eventually.
Forget about Ty Law,
He's
man.
great. They traded him, in the middle of their Super Bowl runs.
I hate to
They
say it,
they
but
know when to get out.
that Corey Dillon
Yeah.
just manhandled us in the Super
came
Bowl.
up-
Coming from
Cincinnati, right?
Cincinnati, yeah.
Coming from Cincinnati,
Wow,
coming
big-
from that
yeah.
dreck
Yeah.
in Cincinnati and coming to win a Super
He had
Bowl.
a couple stints with I believe. with
Man, he was a
New England,
stud.
right?
Absolute stud. Man, you can go back. There's some
They
really
had a lot
good,
of players.
really a lot of good guys coming out of Boston. I mean, we didn't even touch on any pitchers besides Clemens coming out of Boston, right? I mean,
How about Bill Lee? Remember him, the spaceman?
who?
The spaceman Bill Lee?
Never
Pedro.
even heard of that name.
Pedro.
Pedro was great.
That-
Pedro. Man, we
Pedro.
forgot all about Pedro.
How do we not forget who's your daddy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he helped us.
Schilling.
Kurt Schilling.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know he's not a big fan.
Joe is
Not-
like
Shell's another guy got attacked by aliens and hasn't come back
Shell's
yet.
got to come back down to earth.
Yeah,
with
he's
us.
got to come back to reality
he's up
every now
there
and then.
still, and I don't know if he's ever coming back.
Nah, I don't think he is. I think he's gone. He's on.
and
he's-
ruin his chance for Hall of Fame too. He's
Yeah.
never going to get in there.
You're right. Unfortunately, you're true. But guys, we'll wrap this up. Let's go. Final thoughts here, Al. Whatever you think. Final thoughts. Whatever sport, life, whatever it is. Final thoughts before we get out of here.
Hey, you know what? I want to say while we on the air, thank God for another year. I'm gonna be
I
a
like
certain
that.
age tomorrow, and I don't have to be here. when nobody has promised another day. So I'm thank God for another birthday. And we're going to win tomorrow. Eagles are going to make one more surprising move before training camp. And the Phillies are going to make the playoffs. I'm predicting that right now.
Boy. I'm gonna leave this with the Sixers. They can win tomorrow night. Clean things up. Play a little more fundamental. Offensive rebounds. And minimize the turnovers, please. Let's go. 1-1.
That's a must.
1-1. Coming back to Philly.
Yeah, who knows what
Lowry will be back. Embiid will be back. We'll have a hell of a game 3.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, and I can't top what Al and Nick said regarding the Sixers. So I'm going to drizzle in a little Flyers. Since they're hardly talked about. They officially referenced they're not bringing back the interim coach Mike Yo, and they're going to be on a coaching search. And it's my hope. I don't want to speak for my colleague at Flyer and Ice, but it's my hope they go outside the organization and get a number 1 assistant. And my choice has always been Rob Zettler of Tampa Bay.
Love that pick.
So that's my hope. I don't want to see a recycled Flyer. As much as we love them, I don't want to see another recycled face.
We've had enough of that.
No.
I like that. We talk about retreads all the time.
Right.
Nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants that. And for me,
Something fresh
what
and new.
I'm going to close on is I'm going to give a shout out. Now, we talked about a couple months ago, and we are going to do this because I'm trying to get, we'll see, if he comes back summertime. But I want to give shout out to local athletes in the area doing big things. So this is one of our own. I would give a shout out to our boy, Coach Dave Dixon, Coach Dave's son.
Oh, yeah, he's tearing it up.
DJ Dixon, Freshman of the Year, UVA, Virginia Athletics Standout Award. Dude, listen, it's been great, man.
Congrats.
Following. That's one thing I could say. I love following kids' journeys. Like with my kids I've coached, parents I know, watch. It's that's what makes Facebook great. For all the people that hate Facebook, that's fine. Hate it for those reasons, but like it for what we're able to do.
Right.
No other way we'd be able to follow a journey, right?
Absolutely.
We would never be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And as a parent, my daughter's graduating for college this week. I know Dan's graduates
Next
right?
week.
We're all in that same boat. And to see him as a freshman just tearing it up, I know they were, skeptical of him going away and playing baseball, and he's worked his butt off, man.
Beautiful left-handed swing.
Yeah, he's a lefty too. So shout out DJ Dixon, shout out Coach Dave and Amy parents for a tremendous job on a great kid and doing big things out there for UVA. So as always, we want to thank everybody for tuning in right here at Steam Pub. We're here every Tuesday, 7 to 8:30. Soccer tryouts are over, so 7 to 8:30 now, no 8 to 9:30. As always, sponsored by Prime Roofing, www.primeroofingpa.com. Make sure you follow us at Heat Ratio Sports on all social formats and subscribing to the YouTube channel to get all our fantastic comments. So everybody, for Tony, for Dave, I just said Dave because I had to talk about Dave Dixon, for Tony, for Dan, for Nick, for Al, Adam checking in as always. And everybody here in the bar just having a fantastic time. We thank you. We'll see you next week. And everybody stay safe.